Welcome to Yangshuo, one of the most picturesque little towns in all of China. First, let me show you how we got here. This morning we are super excited. This is something I have wanted to do for a few years now. We are finally taking our river cruise from Guilin to Yangshuo. It's about a 4-hour ride, and we did book it through our hotel. I know that we overpaid, but I just wanted the simplicity of it. So we booked it at the counter at the Sheraton. We paid $600 per person for the upper deck on a 4-star ship.
When they showed up at the hotel at 7:20 this morning to pick us up, and it was about an hour drive out here, and our boat leaves at 8:50.
Yeah, I am so excited. We have our 20 yuan note ready to go so we can get that iconic photo. And right now, we're just waiting to board.
As you can see, we made it successfully onto the boat.
Yes, and you could probably also see why I was so excited to do this cruise. The scenery is absolutely beautiful. It was pretty easy to find our way to the boat. It was berth number 5, and our seats were 53 and 54. And also, there were tons of people to check your ticket and point you in the right direction. So it was super easy, not stressful at all. So we are getting ready to come up on one of the most famous sections of the Li River, and it is depicted here on the 20 yuan note. You can see behind me, we are getting very close.
We just got checked into our hotel, which is an amazing location with lots of shops and restaurants around it.
Yeah, and there was a great little bubble tea place. So of course we stopped to refresh ourselves and get a little bubble tea. And now we're gonna walk around and check out the rest of the town.
One thing we noticed about Yangshuo is that they might have more massage parlors than Chiang Mai.
Yeah, and we haven't had a good massage since we were in Thailand, so we decided we would give it a try here, and I have to say it was fantastic. She did cut the time short a little bit. It was like 50 minutes instead of an hour, but it was only 88 yuan each, and man, she really got deep in there. My calves feel so much better. So we have run into a couple times that in order to use an application, we do need a local phone number. The application here at this restaurant is one of those, but we haven't had any problems with Alipay, which is like a square QR code, and then you can tell it's a WeChat one when it's round. Those work fine, but the ones that are red and they go to a website, I think it's called Meituan or something like that, we haven't been able to use that one because we don't have a local phone number, so that's just something to keep in mind. So another thing that we've come across is this. They package all of your dishes and utensils, and then you're supposed to wash them with tea. I think it's kind of odd, but it's what you do. So they give you this big bowl with this hot tea. And so you'll start by like pouring it in your kind of your small dish and swish it around, and then pour that into another one. And then you rinse off your spoon, and then your plate. And there you go. Now everything is clean. So by far the most popular and famous dish here in Yangshuo is beer fish. And as you can imagine, it's where they cook fish with beer. The thing is, they chop the fish up and it's very, very bony. So we opted instead to get beer duck, which is cooked in the same way with lots of ginger and peppers. We asked for it a little bit spicy. And then we also, of course, ordered a liter of the beer that it's made with.
So the other famous dish they have here is where they take a snail and they take it out and they chop it up and they mix it with pork and then stuff it back in the shell. So give that a try. My mad chopstick skills. That is absolutely delicious.
Last night we were absolutely exhausted, so after dinner we went straight back to the room and we actually ended up sleeping from 10 p.m. all the way to 8 a.m. So this morning after we got up, we had breakfast at the hotel, and now we have ordered a Didi to drive us the 30 minutes to this gorgeous scenic spot that has a cable car. I'm super excited to go check it out.
Well, we made it here, and the Didi ride was about 43 RMB, and it took about 30 minutes.
Yep, and the tickets are some of the most expensive attraction tickets we've bought so far, but we could see the cable car on the way here, and it looks super impressive. These were 220 RMB each. So, but I have read online that it takes like 3-4 hours, so if it is a full day of activities, not too bad a price.
The cable car ride was amazing, and the views were spectacular.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see, but behind us here, there is like a hanging bridge that takes you across, and then you climb up that mountain to a viewpoint, then you climb back down, and there's a big glass walkway. So overall, there is quite a bit to see and do here, and I'm very excited.
We just finished walking across the suspension bridge behind us, which is at Ruyi Peak.
And now we are going up to the highest viewing point. I will say the suspension bridge is just pretty awesome. They have a little kiosk where you can buy these red ribbons and write wishes on them, and everyone's hung them, so it's very, very picturesque. And I will say that it is a very stable suspension bridge. It is not a swinging bridge. It doesn't move very much. So if you do have a fear of heights, it's definitely not bad.
There was even a guy jumping on it, and he wasn't moving it much.
No. Some of the ones we went on in Mexico, really, really shaky.
Just made up all those stairs to the highest point.
This is Ruyi Cloud Top, which is a 360-degree viewing platform, and it was so worth those stairs.
So we've made it down to the first glass walkway.
We did stop and get a tea out of a vending machine, and it was our first successful use of a Chinese vending machine. We've tried 2 other times and we couldn't get it to work, but this time, success. We haven't had anybody ask for our picture this time, but we have had a couple of people that wanted to have a conversation with us, so we used our Google Translate, which worked really well. Everybody's been super friendly, and I have to say this place is definitely worth the trip. The scenery is so beautiful.
After the second glass walkway, we returned to the cable car station and entered a very cool exhibition which had both light and video displays, some of which were interactive. Definitely don't miss it if you visit. It's under the entrance to the cable car and easy to overlook.
So we just finished up our time here at Ruyi Peak. It took us about 2.5 hours to get through it all. And I could see it taking a lot more time if you wanted to.
Yeah, there's like lots of little snack booths with like ice cream and sandwiches and stuff. We just grabbed a tea from a vending machine and kept trucking. I don't think you could do it faster than 2 hours, even if you like kind of ran through the thing. So very, very worth it. The views were absolutely spectacular. Like I said, we did take a DD here. It was about a half hour outside of town. I was a little concerned about getting a DD back, but it looks like there's tons of cars available. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now.
So we ordered the snails again, and again, they're super delicious. These are all gone, and basically we learned that you have to suck them out instead of trying to get them out with a chopstick. Much more efficient.
Last night when we walked by, we noticed this restaurant was super busy, so we came by to order their beer fish, and the lady told me that they actually have a boneless version of the beer fish, which is known to be so bony. So we'll see. She actually described it as thornless, so I assume it's boneless. And then we got the famous bamboo glutinous rice, which looks delicious as well.
So you're sitting here eating our lunch, and this guy just comes up out of nowhere, and he starts, I don't know, cutting things up on a piece of paper or something next to us. And he comes over and he shows me this. He did a pretty good job, and it was only 20 RMB, so I paid him. We're still not super hungry after having our late lunch of delicious beer fish this afternoon, but we've come out to see maybe if we can find something for dessert.
Yeah, and I had to check out the whole town lit up at night because I know in China they do it right at night. Also, maybe we'll stop and get another foot massage because that was great yesterday.
Went back to the same place we went last night for our foot massages, and they're a little more aggressive this time.
Yeah, I think I might have a bruise on one leg, but I have to say my muscles and feet do feel better. After that, we did stop by a little store. There's the brand there, and we picked up a few little dessert items that we tried there. They had lots of different like dried fruit items. They had mango and strawberry and blueberry. So we got a couple of those to enjoy back in the hotel room while we relax for the rest of the evening, because tomorrow we have another day of hiking ahead of us.
Today is our third day in Yangshuo.
Unfortunately, yesterday we didn't do anything. I had plans for us to hike up to the top of Moon Hill, which is a very, very cool mountain that has a moon-shaped cutout in it. Unfortunately, all night I had stabbing stomach pains, woke up with a fever, felt nauseous all day, spent the whole day in bed. I don't know what it was because David feels fine and we shared all the same food and everything. So I have no idea, but today I feel much better. Do have a bit of a headache, feel a little bit tired. So we're not going to be doing anything hike-wise, but we are going to try to get tickets to the Guilin Romance Park and maybe do like a little bamboo raft or just walk around town. We'll see what's up.
We met a lady out in town and negotiated a private bamboo ride.
Yeah, she charged us $150 per person and then took us on the back of their motorbikes to the dock. Once we got to the dock and got the tickets, they say they're $110 each. There was a little upcharge there, but honestly, that's a fair convenience fee because I don't know if I would have found the dock on my own. And then, like I said, they provided the transportation. So overall, pretty good deal. And if you come to the dock yourself, it sounds like they try to fit 4 on a boat, where we ended up getting a private boat because we paid the extra. So overall, not a bad deal. And even just starting out, the views are fantastic.
We just finished up with our bamboo raft ride.
Yeah, it was about 40 minutes start to finish. The lady initially told us it was going to be about 70 minutes. It was a little shorter than she promised, but it was very beautiful and I definitely recommend doing it. Even if you do the big river cruise that we did, the perspective of being like so close to the water on the bamboo raft is different and it was very beautiful.
Just got a 10 RMB DD ride to the Guilin Romance Park.
I did try to buy tickets online earlier today. However, it kept saying that I had invalid phone number because it wanted a local Chinese number. We got to the park at about 5:30. There are 2 showings. There's one at 4 and one at 7:30. We walked up to the ticket counter and we were able to buy 2 VIP tickets. They are 320 RMB each, so it is definitely not cheap. She said that it is a whole scenic area and there are places to buy food and other little performances that go on before the like official show that we'll see at 7:30. So we're very excited to go on and head on in.
despite its name, Guilin Romance Park, is something you'd actually visit from Yangshuo rather than Guilin, because it's quite a ways away from there.
Yeah, I think it's like an hour and a half away from Guilin downtown. They do offer tours, though, that will take you both ways. I will say that you may want to come and actually do the 4 o'clock show. Because one of the coolest performances is the fire show, which happens at 7:10, and our show is at 7:30. So I'm guessing we're going to have to go into the theater and get seats before the fire show. Hopefully we can catch a little bit of it, but I'm not sure.
Well, we saw a line, so we decided to stand in it. And we went in, and it ended up being this cool 3D show. It kind of like reminded me of like Avatar or something like that. We were following a little robot, and it was kind of cool.
It was definitely based on the like Zhangjiajie Mountains, which is cool because we're going to be doing that, spoiler alert, in just a couple of videos. We also went into like a little haunted house thing, but it was definitely not up to like American standards of a haunted house. Then we stopped and we got a couple teas. Mine is kumquat lemon, and then David got a milky bubble tea. They are setting up for the fire show behind us now, so we do have assigned seats on our tickets, so we're hoping that we'll be able to stick around and see a little bit of this before we head in for the main show.
So we're able to see the entire fire show before the main show, and it was amazing. There were so many acts and different displays they did with it. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen anything like that. It was really spectacular. And then the main show, of course, was spectacular as well. The set was so awesome, and the costumes that they had were so beautiful and intricate. Everything was kind of interactive. It was really, really awesome. Production value was extremely high. I was kind of worried buying the tickets for this because it seemed very expensive, especially for China, but absolutely worth it. I can see why it is so expensive. There is a ton of technology and work and production that goes into all this, and it was so well done. And then just as we were leaving, they did another fire show. So after you leave the main theater, go up the stairs to the top of this like pagoda thing that like faces like the front entrance, and they will do a fire show, and you will get the most spectacular view. We kind of came up here accidentally. I just saw that it looked like there were some lights down there, and I was like, oh, we'll go check it out. And then we ended up having one of the best views for the final fire show. So highly recommend it. Don't miss this if you come to Yangshuo. And even if you don't come to Yangshuo and you just go to Guilin, it is worth the long ride to see it. It is one of the most spectacular shows we've seen. Now we're going to see how long it takes us to get a DD, because there are hundreds of people trying to get one at the same time. Well, it's about 9:30 at night, and we realized we haven't eaten a real meal basically since breakfast. So here we have a bowl of the Guilin style rice noodles. We ate quite a few bowls of this at our hotel in Guilin, but here obviously they're available in Yangshuo. They're a dry style noodle, and you get to put on a whole bunch of toppings, and then you mix them in. David got the version with the tea egg as well as the crispy pork, and then mine is just the roast pork.
This morning we decided to sleep in and skip the included hotel breakfast.
And we decided we would go try Luckin Coffee. Luckin Coffee is basically the Chinese version of Starbucks. They have over 20,000 locations, and we thought, can't leave China without trying it.
So Luckin Coffee, I got the hot presidential butter latte, and it was very nice. Very good coffee flavor, and it was kind of milky, really nice. I liked it.
Yeah, one of the great things there is, like so many other places, in Asia you're able to pick your sweetness level. So David got his like 50% sweet, I got mine 25% sweet, and I got the iced coconut latte, which was absolutely fantastic. I loved the coconut flavor with the coffee. Really, really good. And the best part was the price. It was like 30, was it 31?
$31.90.
Yeah, so that's like $4.40 for two coffees. You can't even get one at Starbucks for that price anymore. So highly, highly recommend, especially if you don't like your coffee overly sweet. Watch out, Starbucks. Luckin's coming for you.
We just took a 45-minute DD ride to Xingping Ancient Town.
Yes, this ancient town is one we actually passed when we were on our river cruise. It's famous for being the spot where that photo of the 20 yuan note was taken. It obviously has an ancient town as well and lots of restaurants, and so we figured it was best to check it out at night, and being our last night here in Yangshuo, we figured why not do it. The ride here though was absolutely gorgeous. We kind of nailed it where the sun was kind of setting behind some of the hills, and it was super, super beautiful. But now we're gonna see if we can make it out to the water before the sun sets all the way.
Well, we made it down to the river before the sun fully set.
Yeah, and we did see a few places that claimed to have the view of the 20 yuan note, but none of them lined up quite right. The one that we got on the boat was definitely the best view, and I think it was a little bit before this town, if I'm remembering right, but, you know, we were on a boat for 4 hours, so I don't know exactly where we were. We did go ahead and pay 5 yuan each to take the ferry across to the little island to check out the scenery on this side, which is really cool to see all the peaks behind the old town. David's been noticing this place all over China, and he's been begging to get ice cream, so we stopped today, and he got the Oreo with chocolate syrup. I got the mulberry tea milkshake with bubbles. It looks quite delicious. And this was some of the cheapest, like, tea ice cream places we've seen through China.
One thing we've been pleasantly surprised about in here in China so far is how easy it is to get a Didi. Even when you go way out, like the old town we were just at, like 45 minutes out of the way, super easy. Within 2 minutes, we had a Didi.
Yeah, I've been so happy with that because I really was worried about transportation, and it's completely a non-issue. Last night when there were, I don't know how many people, 300 people trying to get a Didi at the same time at the Romance Park, again, we got one in just a matter of moments. So now we are back in Yangshuo, and wow, it is crazy. It is a Saturday night, and it is vastly different than it was on like Tuesday and Wednesday night. So that's just something to keep in mind here, is that weekends are very busy, very loud. That Xingping Town, honestly, you could probably skip it. We got some beautiful views on the drive out, and I got some gorgeous sunset photos. But the old town itself was very small. It was a little run down, and it had basically a ton of the same restaurants and shops selling the same things that you can get here in Yangshuo. So I don't know if it's really worth the 45-minute trip out there, especially if you already got your 20 yuan note photo when you did the river cruise. Maybe if you didn't, it'd be worth it to go out there to see the scenery, but just something to keep in mind. I think we're gonna grab something to eat. It's been quite a while since we had lunch, and I saw a guy making some buns down the way, and I think I want one of those. Wow. One thing I have to say is that bun was phenomenal. It was literally one of the best things that we've eaten in our 24 days so far in China. So if you come to Yangshuo, make sure you visit that booth. Also, the lady was super friendly.
So the activities in Yangshuo have been awesome, but they've also been pretty pricey. The Romance Park the other day was like $90. And then Ruyi Park was $60, and the boat ride was like $40. So
yeah, and the cruise to get here was like, I think, $170. So those things definitely added up. Obviously, you could skip those. There are hikes you could do that would be cheaper, but yeah, I mean, if you want to make the most of your time here, it's a bit pricey. Our hotel was not the cheapest either. You can definitely get cheaper options, but this thing is like dead center in like the walking area, and I will give you a tour of it tomorrow morning before we leave. It's kind of dark now, but it was a very comfortable, very nice hotel room in an absolutely perfect location. Tomorrow, we are heading to a new province. We are taking 2 train rides, so come along with us as we continue exploring China. So this was our room for the 5 nights we spent here in Yangshuo. You can see here is the bathroom. We had a nice rainfall shower head, as well as like a handheld. Nice vanity area. Of course, a toilet. Then over here we had luggage storage and a place to take off our shoes. Here we had nice closet space with a little bit of storage. And then here, this is kind of the makeshift desk space. Some more drawers there. Nice big TV. And you can see nice big comfortable king-size bed. Cool abstract painting of the landscape here. Then there was a chaise lounge. And then in here was the little bar area. They had a mini fridge and a safe. And then, as I mentioned before, the location here was great. You can see out past our balcony here. is the space where everyone parks for the big walking area, and you can see some of the beautiful mountains as well. Really enjoyed our stay here. Like I said, the location was perfect, but now we are in a rush because the train station is a whole hour away from the city center. And now for that cost breakdown. We spent just $451 for 5 nights in that beautiful hotel. We spent $39 on transportation, $202 on entertainment, which included the Romance Park, the bamboo raft ride, and the Ruyi Peak cableway. We spent just $141 on restaurants. We spent $25 on groceries, basically some snacks and some waters. And finally, $55 on personal care, which included some massages and toiletries. That grand total, $913, or just $183 per day. Not included in that total was the boat that we took from Guilin to Yangshuo, which came in at $171. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them down below. If you haven't already, check out last week's video where we explore the beautiful city of Guilin.